I'm Susan Utz from Solon, Iowa. I actually grow vegetables for a living and have a few livestock, mainly sheep at this point. And I've always loved working in the soil, I would say. I actually have a community-supported agriculture farm and grow vegetables now for close to 200 families at the present time. With the CSA, you do everything from the production all the way to the marketing. So I have really strong relationships with my families that I sell to. Some of them have been with me. I've been doing this for almost 20 years, and some of those families have been with me for 15 years. And so I've seen them, their kids grow up in my CSA. I have an 80-acre farm, and my goal with that farm has always been to make enough money to support myself and my children on that farm. And so community-supported agriculture has been the vehicle for me to do that, along with a sheep flock. In the process, my children, 4 children, have decided that none of them want to farm, but I see my farm as an important piece of this community. It's been around for 20 years. Lots of people know Local Harvest CSA. It's a business, but it's also a way of life that I would like to see continued. The land that I farm is actually part of a farm that was here originally, has been here, since this land was settled. It's always been farmed. Not by my family, and not necessarily by one family. In fact, the family that had it before me bought it from a relative, and so I would like to see that farm maintained as a farm versus becoming a place where somebody from town moves to keep their horses. And so my transition plan is to bring a young farmer in to take over my farming operation, so to speak. So to continue what I'm doing, of course, with their own bent on it, their own little unique signature to it. But it is a great opportunity because it's an existing business that they could move into, and the infrastructure is there. Much of what they need is in place for them to continue, to take it over and continue farming. With the development of a local foods movement that's become kind of an exciting new thing that's happening in this country. People are wanting local foods, and so there's an opportunity for young people to come into the farming. And I think it's difficult to get into conventional or big farms anymore. To buy into that kind of situation isn't likely to happen unless you have a family that you're transitioning in with. So in my case, my focus has really been on the young people that want to farm and grow vegetables primarily, and or some kind of niche marketing. And I think that's an interesting and sometimes very difficult transition because they may or may not have access to land. And so part of that process of us working with young people on my own farm and through the Farming Institute has been to sort of create a model, I would say, for young people to get the skills that they need, because as I said, many of them, over 50% of them, probably don't come from a farming background, so they need to develop those skills. And then beyond that, figuring out ways to access land is another issue. And so through mentoring programs and potentially, we hope, reaching out to people who do have land, that they will be able to access land. I think if we're going to be successful in this process, we have to look at mentoring and structuring relationships for them to be successful. So transitioning isn't just about developing a plan, but it has to be about mentoring and working with people and creating that community of support that can make it happen.